boys and girls. So before you take your assessment test, I want you to do a practice. So if you open up your math workbooks, Volume 2, your Envisions Math Workbook, Volume 2, and go to page 599, what I just circled at the bottom, that's 599. There is a practice test that you can do before you complete that assignment. So what we're going to do, Mrs. Collier is going to read you the question and the answer choices, and then I want you to answer it in your workbook. Now, when you take the assessment for math, the computer is going to read you all of the questions. So it won't be Mrs. Collier's voice, but for the assessment, I'm going to read them to you. So we're on page 599 of Envisions Workbook Volume 2. So if you need to pause the video to go get there, please do so. Okay, let's start at the top at number 1. Number 1 says, which shape has exactly 3 sides? So let's think about the shapes we've been working with in this lesson and all of our Topic 14 lessons. Which of these shapes has 3 sides? So our first choice is a rectangle. Our second choice is a triangle. Our third choice is a circle. And our last choice is a square. So when you see these kinds of answer choices, this is called multiple choice. So it wants you to fill in the circle for which answer is correct. So our question says, which shape has exactly 3 sides? So we're looking for the shape that has 3 sides. Is that a rectangle, a triangle, a circle, or a square? So is it a rectangle, a triangle, a circle, or a square? Which of those shapes has 3 sides? Then it wants you to fill in the answer choice for which one it is. Number 2 says, how do you know if a shape is a square? So which of these characteristics will describe how we know if a shape is a square? So let's listen to the answer choices. A says the shape has 0 edges and 0 vertices. The shape has 3 edges and 3 vertices. The shape has 4 edges and 4 vertices. Or the shape has 4 edges that are the same length and 4 vertices. So which of those answer choices that I read best describes how do we know if a shape is a square? So does a square have 0 edges and 0 vertices? Does a square have 3 edges and 3 vertices? Does a square have 4 edges and 4 vertices? Or does a square have 4 edges that are the same length and 4 vertices? So circle or fill in the answer choice that it is. All right, number 3 asks us, how many flat surfaces and edges does a cone have? So if you remember the shape of a cone, it kind of looks like an ice cream cone turned upside down. So think about a cone. In the blanks here, it wants you to write the number of flat surfaces a cone has, and and how many edges a cone has. So in this blank, it wants you to write that number of how many flat surfaces a cone has and how many edges a cone has. Number 4 says Jackson makes 3 triangles, then he puts them together to make a new shape. Draw a shape that Jackson could have made. So in this section over here, it wants you to use 3 triangles to make a new shape. So it's saying Jackson made a new shape using 3 triangles. So take those 3 triangles over here and put them together to make a new shape. You might have to try a couple times, but you can do it. Number 5 says complete the sentence, then explain how you know you are correct. So what is the name of this shape? We worked a lot with this shape this past couple weeks. So you would say this 3D shape is A, then write the name of what this shape is called. Then it wants you to explain how you know you're correct. So once you say what the name of this shape is, say how you know that is the name of the shape. All right, boys and girls, so still in your workbook page, if you just flip that page over and go to page 600, that's 600, this is page 2 of the assessment practice. All right, so number 6 says Jasmine is making a butterfly. Use pattern blocks to draw in the missing pieces she is still missing. Okay, boys and girls. So we know at home we do not have these blocks, but I'm going to give you a hint. So how these blocks look on this side, how we have 3 hexagons and 1 trapezoid, that's exactly on this side as well. So I just want you to draw with your pencil the best that you can without using pattern blocks. Draw the trapezoid and the 3 hexagons around it. So it's going to look just how this side does. It's just on this side of the butterfly. I know we don't have pattern blocks, so if you cannot get it perfect, that is okay. But it should look as close as you can get it to this side of the butterfly. I want you to draw it on this side here. Number 7, up at the top, says choose 2 sets of shapes that you can use to make this is a hexagon. So what this is saying, that in each of these answer choices, which ones can you put all together to make a hexagon? So if you are you able to put all of these triangles together to make a hexagon? Are you able to put 2 trapezoids together to make a hexagon? Or are you able to put 3 squares together to make a hexagon? Or 3 parallelograms together to make a hexagon? So which pairs of shapes can you put together to make a hexagon? Once you know it wants you to fill in that answer choice. So just color in the answer choice with your pencil. Which of these shapes can you put together for the answer choice to make a hexagon? Number 8 says all of these shapes are triangles. Circle 2 ways to describe all triangles. So Mrs. Collier is just going to go ahead and underline and circle these very important words. So it wants us to circle our answer choice. It wants us to circle 2 of these answer choices. And it's not to describe just one kind of triangle, but all triangles. So circle 2 ways to describe all triangles. So these are all of the triangles down here. So the statement says all triangles. So which 2 statements down here can describe all of these triangles? So our statements say all triangles have 3 sides. All triangles have 3 vertices. All triangles are yellow. All triangles are big. And all triangles have 4 sides. So which 2 statements it wants you to circle the statements describe all of these triangles? On the next page of your workbook, it says page 601, so 601. 601. Number 9 says, which 3D shape does not very important word, does not have a vertex. So we talked a lot about vertexes in these lessons that we've done over the past week or two. A vertex is the corner point in a shape. It is that corner point, the very point. So it's asking which of these 3D shapes down here does not have a vertex. Then it wants you to fill in the answer choice, just one, that does not have a vertex. The second part of the question, it says, what is the name of the shape you choose in A? So what is the name of the shape you choose in A? So it's not asking what this shape here is called for answer choice A. So number 9 has a part A and a part B. So it's asking whichever answer choice you fill in, whichever one it is, what is the name of that shape that you answered? So if I were to pick number, let's say the first choice, so letter A, and this is a cube. If I were to pick that, it says, what is the name of the shape I chose? I would write cube. But if you choose a different letter, whatever letter you choose, it wants you to write the name of it for choice B. Number 10 says circle 2 3D shapes that can be used to make this object. So this object below, this object here, this is a rectangular prism. So it says circle the 2 3D shapes. So which 2 3D shapes could you use to make this object? And the last page, so page 602, 602 in your workbook. It's the last page of our practice assessment. So number 11 says, which 2D shape has no straight sides? So out of these 4 shapes down here, which shape has no straight sides? So it wants you to fill in that answer choice for which one has no straight sides. And then for part B of this question, it says, how many vertices does your A answer have? So if you, for example, let's say we picked C for our answer. If I picked C for A, in B answer choice, when it says how many vertices does my A answer have, so if I answered this for A, I would count the vertices that has. So whichever answer choice you select for A wants you to tell how many vertices did our answer have. But be careful, because let's say if you were to pick D for your answer choice, a circle does not have any vertices, so you would write 0. And for number 12, it says match each 3D shape with one way to describe it. And we can use each description once. So boys and girls, what you're going to do for this one, let's look at our first shape. So we have a cone. So we are going to read each of these ways to describe it. And we can only select one of these boxes. And you can only use each description once. So let me show you an example. So for our cone, let's read the choices. This is saying a cone has 12 edges. Does a cone have 12 edges? What about one vertex? Does a cone have one vertex? Does a cone have 6 square faces? Or does a cone have no flat surfaces? So for this answer choice, a cone does have one vertex. So we are going to fill in that answer choice. So boys and girls, since we can only use each description once, these shapes down here cannot have the one vertex answer choice. They have to have something else. So when you look at a sphere, it would go, does a sphere have 12 edges? If it doesn't, move to, does it have 6 square faces? If it doesn't, does it have no flat surfaces? So you would fill in either this answer choice, this one, or this one. But since the cone used this answer choice, no one else can use that. So you can only use each of these descriptions one time. So which would you pick for the sphere? Does a sphere have 12 edges, 6 square faces, or no flat surfaces? And you would fill in that answer choice. Then for a rectangular prism, you would only have 2 answer choices to choose from, since the sphere would also eliminate one of the choices. So when you get to a cube, there should be only one of these answer choices that has not been filled in. And boys and girls, once you finish that answer for number 12, you are all done with your practice assessment. And then you can begin the computer assessment.